Hello, beautiful souls. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel and watching my astrological weekly read. As you know, I start with Monday, I end on Friday. I give you the astrological weather, and I follow that up with an in-depth tarot read to give us more information on where we should focus on for the week. One of the biggest things that I say every week, these transits is one long, continuous show. And we subtly move from one place to another in our lives. And so does these transits. They give us time to breathe. They give us time to run, play, sleep, do work, our ambitions, our hobbies, our relationships, right? And we learn to find the beauty in that. But most of us that look at this video is going to be American, and we want everything right now. Right now, right? But life doesn't always work that way. We have to go through the process. We have to transition. We have to persevere, right? And endure. Last week, I was talking about we were having time to actually adjust to our new normal. Libra season is the balancing and finding harmony in the cosmic scales. And come Scorpio season, after Libra throws down that gavel and say, this is the judgment and this is what I'm happy with and the scales are balanced here, Scorpio, it says judgment is today, right? And we see the repercussions of the karma that was sentenced to us during Libra season. This week, after getting our feet planted in the ground and getting a handle on our relationships and figuring out what it is that we want versus the other and this and that and the third, not saying that those issues are completely obliterated and we don't have to deal with them anymore. We still do. It's just that spirit is turning the notch up just a bit to put a little bit of fire under our ass to get us moving in the right direction. With that being said, I will start with Monday. Monday, we have Chiron and Moon in Aries in opposition to Mercury, eventually Mars, and then the Sun. What does this mean? We have to keep in mind that Chiron is our own personal wound. And with Moon being there, the luminary that depicts our past, our nostalgia, our memories, our inner workings of ourselves, is in a sign where it's known as being the baby. It's passionate. It is ambitious. It is fiery. It is playful. It is childlike. It is bold. It can give temper tantrums too. I don't care what age you are. People with Moon and Aries typically will give a tantrum. They might not wail on the floor, but they still give them. We are more in tune and we're more aware of our own personal wound. And if somebody happens to rub us the wrong way today, we are more inclined to be more direct and fiery and headstrong and impatient about sitting and waiting and adjusting to looking at our atmosphere and seeing what's the best course of action. Somebody cut me off today, more people are probably inclined to give these, But with Sun, Mars, and Mercury in Libra, we still have to keep in mind, it's not all about our own individual feelings. Yes, do I have my wounds? Yes. But my world does not revolve around me as much as I want it to. I still have to find harmony with the relationships, interpersonal of any kind, with these people in my life that I deem a priority, right? Mars and Sun will be squaring Pluto, so we still have the looming feeling of finding balance with these relationships that we might be stuck in, that we can't necessarily categorize or chop off, because we feel like we don't have the upper hand. We feel like that they do. We feel like that they're the authority figure, or we're being pressured or bullied or forced to do something that we don't want to. And this is not the truth. Everybody has made their bed, and we have to deal with the repercussions of the decisions we've made up until this point, good, bad, and indifferent. And if you were reckless in the past, trying to finagle yourself out of this situation that you're now trying to find balance and or have to find a way out of, it's going to be harder for you versus somebody else that have been taking the right steps. If you're on the higher end of that aspect, then you're looking at what is difficult to you, and you can spot it right away, and you know exactly what direction you're going to take with Mars and Sun being in square to Pluto. The good thing about today is we're getting a lot more clarity, and Jupiter is being a nitro pack to our rockets right now, as far as the direction that we want to go. It's expanding that idea. It's expanding that urge for us to want to make a decision, see our situations for what they are, and get the hell up out of there. You know, whether that is running towards a position where you know it's going to be beneficial to you, or running out of a burning building. You know, Venus will be sextiling Mercury, which I absolutely love. Why? Because she'll be saying, you know, Mercury, I know that this is your wound. I know you hurt here, but regardless of how hurt you are, we need you to be diplomatic in what you say. You can say whatever you want to anybody on this earth. It's how you say it, right? Saturn is trining Mercury, and this is letting me know that we have the support to structure what it is that we're thinking about, to carefully be diligent and co-sign the words we say before they come out of our mouths to the people we are communicating with. This is Monday. I put on my daily for today. I said, today is a good day. As long as the intentions of your heart, the actions you take follow the intentions of the heart. This is true in every sense of the word. Our intuition has been stronger than ever, as far as the people that need to be in our tribe. Whatever that quilted fabric looks like to you, whether that's a best friend, a coworker, your children, and yourself, or your family unit and a few close friends of the family. Whatever that soul tribe looks like for you, we know what direction we need to go in. And Spirit is giving us a little bit more push to feel that urge to make decisions for ourselves, the best decisions for ourselves, right? Tuesday, Moon. What did I put for Tuesday? Let's see the next day. Tuesday, nothing major really. Moon will be sextiling Saturn, so we'll have the support. It's more so like, that feels like me. It feels like a barrier. Moon is going to be in conjunction with Chiron, even though it's in the same sign as Chiron on Monday. But on Tuesday, it's definitely going to be crossing that line first thing in the morning with Chiron. And with Moon sextiling Saturn, it's letting me know that we're going to be able to put a muzzle on our mouth, or on our feelings, not our mouth. We're going to still very much feel the same way that we did on Monday. But something might just trigger us to want to be more, more blunt with our emotions. My advice to you for Tuesday is to keep your cool. Keep your cool. Say what you need to say, but say it with dignity. And I get it. We do not live in the perfect world, and it doesn't matter with the information that I give you, and you having to take the position of the upper hand. Most spiritual people are those who are more in tune with their path. We're pretty much in the know, whether that is through our intuition, or we're paying attention to our environment, or we're just in a position where we have more knowledge about life or ourselves and what Spirit has revealed to us. Be the bigger person today. But if you can't, I get it. Sometimes people are pushed to the limits. And today just might be the day for you where you might go off or show your discontent. There you go. I will say that. Just be mindful, because the same rules apply as Monday. We're going to have a grand kite to that Chiron and that moon. So it's going to be really hard to keep a muzzle on your mouth, wanting to express how we feel on the inside. But if it's getting to that point for you, that's because you have sat in a situation way too long. And now, things is looking real sketchy. One thing's for sure, you know how you feel. And you know what's not working for you. Say your piece and get the hell out. Wednesday is the full moon in Aries. This is step up or step out of the way. Full moon in Aries. Let me pull up this chart real quick. Sorry for the silence, people. That's why I got the music playing. And I should have had this pulled up, right? Yeah, but y'all can wait for me. Full moon in Aries. We're going to have North Node conjunct part of Fortune. This is like a double indication that this is a part of our fate and our destiny. This North Node transit is wrapping up. Come December 20th, we're switching nodes. North Node will go into Taurus and South Node will be going into Scorpio. But in this chart today, it's still in Gemini, the North Node is beckoning us to get the information that we need from a variety of places. It's beckoning us to pay attention to the details and the facts and the knowledge that you come into. What are your options? Who are you communicating with? In this chart, North Node for the full moon chart is conjunct the descendant. So this doubles down the message of us trying to find our soul tribe. Are the people you are surrounding yourself with in your interpersonal relationships the people that you want to be stuck with? What is it that you're doing? South Node is in our first house. We got to drop some beliefs, some philosophies, some ideas, some old experiences, some old teachings, and unlearn some things in order to move forward. Venus is here in the first house. We're presenting ourselves more lovely, but even the way that we give and we receive love and the way that we go about our money pursuits, we have to unlearn some things in order to move forward. We can't take the same ideas that we've always had about love and money and our interpersonal relationships and expect that the people that are for us in that space called soul tribe, that they're going to put up with the mess that we know we should have learned, right? Drop it. Pluto will be in the second house if you live on the East Coast. There you go. Sorry. This is a chart for Eastern Standard Time. But Pluto in the second house is literally telling us that there's something about our own. It's doubling down that message of self. The second house is Taurus rule. It's your own money, it's your own finances, your own esteem, your own possessions, yours, not anybody else's. But the way that you go about it, just like I said, Venus, and the way you present yourself, the way that you're going about these ideas, Pluto is literally bringing stuff up from the surface about you that you have to die to. Jupiter is direct, and in this chart, it sits in the third house in Aquarius. The social constructs that we've been learning over time, it's making us think differently in how we deal with our interpersonal relationships. This Jupiter placement is entrine to Sun, Mars in the 11th house. Our hopes, wishes, dreams, our long-term goals. This is destiny here, a lower degree, not necessarily north node, but it's our hopes, wishes, and dreams, right? It's giving us boosters. It's giving us expansion. It's giving us more impetus to you know what? I got to run in this direction. This is what's best for my destiny, my long-term goals, what I need to do. Moon is in Aries. And the sun is shining light on how we've gone about our creativity, our inner child, our risk and rewards we've been taking, our entertainment, our love pursuits. It's something we need to release. The full moons is releasing. Looking at this transit literally is telling me, if you didn't know what you need to do, you're damn sure going to figure it out real soon. The host of this full moon is Aries, Mars, and Mars rules Aries and also Scorpio, Pluto. Pluto has a T-square between the sun, moon, and itself. The tension is on Pluto. Pluto is the planet of death, transformation, and reform. After this full moon, if you were going back and forth and you were being fickle with your significant other, your family members, the job you want to pursue, your career, your status in your community, whatever the case may be, if you've been going back and forth and you didn't know what decision to make for yourself, Spirit is going to make a decision for you, and it's going to blow it up, and you're going to have no choice but to go into some direction. Period. I give astrological reads on Clubhouse, and I've been telling people for months, anybody that happened to ask me about this full moon, Aries is a cardinal sign. This full moon is the energy, once it hits you personally, it's going to feel like a swift kick in the face for those who have not been doing their soul's work. This full moon is dynamite. That's what I've been calling it, dynamite. It's either going to blow up something that needed to be done with a long time ago, or you're going to be able to level up on the relationships that you do want to facilitate and help grow and make sure you fertilize them the right way. You're getting the okay status. You're getting that goal so you can do that. You're going to be able to do so. Jupiter is direct. Mercury is direct. Saturn is direct. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. We getting that wind beneath our wings to help us soar to our place of true destiny, hope, wishes, and dreams, long-term goals. It might not make sense to you right now, but the universe says, you know what? I looked at your case long enough. I've given you time. And now it's time for me to come up with my own deliberation about this. And there's no more room to pivot, try to save your ass, or try to make something work that isn't any longer. Order in the court. There's no more recess. There's no more figuring it out. You're going to look back 6 months from now, and you're going to say, this was the kickoff point. This is when things started to turn up. This is when the moves started to really be made. If you're holding on to something that no longer serves you, you know what that is. Pluto has been in sextile to Neptune for way too long. And Neptune is a couple degrees from the icy in this full moon chart. This is our deepest emotional core. Being in sextile with who we are as individuals. The second house is our own stuff, right? How we feel about ourselves, right? How we go about our own money. You know what's best for you. You know what feels right. You know what doesn't feel right. Listen to your higher self. Release and let go the relationships or situations or careers or whatever, ... And if you have the right people in your life and you know who you want to stick with, this is a really good moon to level up. Release what needs to be let go. If that boyfriend cheated on you and you still want to stay with him because you feel like this is your heart and soul and this is where you need to be, don't hold it over his head. Let bygones be bygones. Learn from your mistakes and level up. Step up or step out of the way. Because this moon is dynamite. It's dynamite. Wednesday. What do I have for Wednesday? Oh, that was Wednesday. I'm so sorry, people. Thursday. After the full moon in Aries, moon will be going into Taurus on Wednesday. And to be honest, it's not much other than what transits we already have. We still have a grand kite in the sky that's pointing straight to that Chiron. Things is going to come up to the surface. People are going to say things. True intentions are going to come out. What has been hidden for some time is coming to the surface. Pluto's sole job is to bring those things that is unseen from the darks, from the depths of our soul, the skeletons in our closet. If it's time for it to come up, regardless of what you say, what you've done to cover your tracks, it's coming up. It might not be tangibly seen, but somebody's intuition, they're going to get in a dream. They're going to get an aha moment. They're going to start putting pieces together. And it's going to start making sense. This Chiron placement in Aries is being felt. Wounds are either going to be healed or wounds are going to be exposed. When it comes to the dynamic of relationships, you fall on one end or the other. You're either committed or happy or you've fallen off, right? There is a middle, but that's neutral. But if you're neutral, it's typically good. You're not thinking about breaking up with a person, right? These things are being brought up. And all this week, we're going to be feeling just that. The pressure of what this full moon is actually giving us. Most astrologers, including myself, will tell you, you will feel the energies of this full moon 3 days before and 3 days after. This moon is on Wednesday. That's the whole entire week. Pressure. In order to make a decision to move in the direction that's best for you. And sometimes we might be able to wrap this up with a nice bow. Others, not so much. But for those who are on the high vibrating end of things, you'll be able to find peace with knowing that you've done your part. You didn't try to be no tyrant or dictator and be over controlling or overbearing or being a bully or being sleazy in your dealings with whomever it may be in your life. Notes. Yeah. That's Thursday. Moon being in Taurus, we're going to be able to breathe just a little bit. Throw caution to the wind, just for a little bit. For maybe a day. Maybe a day. We might find comfort in not reevaluating, but looking at where we are. Looking at where we are. Making ourselves comfortable with the decisions we've made up at this point. It's no going back. You've already submitted your final exam to this moon. And now people have to live with the decisions that they made. Friday. Friday. Let's see. I have one aspect for Friday, which is Mars square Pluto, trine Moon. Power struggle and change in relationships on Friday. New beginnings and breakdowns. It's a great time to visit healers. You know, any aspects that we are having with Pluto, especially this one in particular, you might not necessarily like how things happen to end, right? Whether that was a dynamite blowing up in your face or leveling up in your relationships to mend what needs to be fertilized to help it grow. With Mars squaring Pluto, this is the difficulty of the power struggles that we're dealing with. You know, the tension that we feel with being torn with what we should do. Where should we go next? You know, did I make the right decision? Didn't I make the right decision? But with Moon being in the mix, Moon trining Pluto, this is a good time to seek out your healers. Whether that's a therapist, a best friend, you know, a Reiki practitioner, a tarot card reader, an astrologer, getting insight and tending to self. These people might just have a good word for you individually to speak into your life. Or insight far as where you might have went wrong if you happen to be on the shitty end of the scales. Turn down my TV. It's also a good time to, knowing where you stand now, last week we were figuring out where we stand. We weren't making moves. We're trying to find comfort in the decisions that we've made about what we want to do moving forward. This week, the bell has rung, the dynamite went off, and we have no choice but to follow through with the decisions that we've made. We've evaluated. We have 3 weeks of Mercury retrograde of figuring out relationships in our lives of any kind. Now we're on the other side of the fence. Now that we're here and we know which relationships are important to us and which ones aren't. We've done the task of emotionally letting go to some degree in order to move forward with the things that we've prioritized that is important to us. The stuff that we've let go of, this is a good time to even make room. Make room. If you broke up with a boyfriend, clean your phone out. Change your status on yourself, on your social medias. Get rid of his stuff. Same thing with a job. You put your 2 weeks in. You're starting to downsize. You're not taking as many hours at work. Whatever it is that you prioritize for yourself. Spirit has made it a way for you to make space. Now make room for the new shit that is coming in for you. Step up to the plate. Last week I said that we were trying to figure out the rules. Now it's time to implement those rules. You found a person that you love. You got a job that you love. You have a family member that you need to take care of. Whatever it is. Now that you know the rules, start reinforcing that in order to make it great. That's our astrological weather for the week. If I can sum up this week, it will be, what would it be? I don't know. The gavel has been hit. The gavel has failed. There you go. Woo. I want to use the Urban Tarot deck for our tarot read. That way we can get some more in-depth information on what it is that we should be focusing on this week. This just jumped out at me. Friday, the sun will be at 29 degrees Libra. And that will be squaring Pluto. 5 degrees. You're going to feel the heat more on Thursday than you will on Friday. But you'll still feel it, that's for sure. Spirit is telling us we got to wrap this up. It's time to wrap it up. It's time to wrap it up. You used all your lifelines. You gave this person 1,000 chances. This job is still shitty. You know, the kids are still crazy. I haven't prioritized myself. Spirit said time's up. Not Libra season. Virgo season, we had that whole entire season to prioritize self. Once we realized what was a priority to me as an individual, it was time for us to actually implement that in Libra season and balance the scales in our external life, including people, and jobs, and extracurricular activities, when it comes to our health, and ... Yeah. The gavel has failed. And we'll all get judgment come Scorpio season. That's going to be special. Whew. Spirit, I come to you and I ask that my own intellect does not skew the message, but enhances the message. That my ministering warrior and guardian angels help me along with this message. that the message is clear, concise, and practical, and that anyone and everyone that is supposed to be hearing this message or see this message, hear and see this message. I thank you for the insight. I thank you for the sharpened intuition. I thank you for the clarity. Ashe, amen. Give me a second, you guys. I'm sorry. Central issue. Central issue. We got the Prince of Disc in reverse. Prince of Disc. This is the Knight of Pentacles. We've come to a dead stop. Dead stop. And it's funny because the Knight of Pentacles for me literally signifies 6 months. In 6 months, we're going to have the Aries new moon. Brand new beginning. But we cannot move forward with what Spirit is telling us that we cannot take on our path moving forward. You can try, but you know what? I'm going to give you a heads up right now. Anything that it was supposed to be let go of as of now, come Scorpio season, you'll see what side of the coin, which side of the scales that you were on, for sure. But we're at a dead stop because we have no choice but to make decisions about what it is that we need to do in order to move forward. We're not doing what we were doing before. This is Earth. This is the practical, tangible, physical things in our life. Whether that's people, a car, a job, a hobby. These are 3D things. Can't move forward. And we won't. What's the block? Oof. 9 of Swords in the upright. It's a baby doll. 9 swords above it. It's broken. And of course, the word cruelty. 9 of Swords, we're in our head. And overthinking, which makes sense. We're still in shadow when it comes to the Mercury retrograde. And it is in an air sign, Libra. Mercury and Libra can overly analyze and overly analyze the other's position. When Libra season is supposed to be finding balance in harmony in our relationships. However, you cannot do that if the calibrator of making final decisions for you is broken. You get caught up in here, in a loop, trying to figure it out. And opposed to getting in tune with yourself on the inside and how you feel about it, you're trying to calculate who's doing this and where and here and this and the other and so forth and so on, when that's the wrong way of doing it. Virgo season, we were prioritizing self, figuring out what works for us, right? Don't throw that in the trash and then put everything that you have into other people and then get upset that you're not getting the results that you're looking for your life. Get out of your head. This is over-analyzing, trying to be a perfectionist. This is the nightmare card. This is anxiety. This is sleepless nights. This is being overly critical on yourself. This is self-doubt. This is fear. This is fear. At the heart of the matter, 5 of Swords in the upright. This read feels like so far those who happen to fall on the low end and happen to be on the other side of the scales of Libra. Okay? 5 of Swords in the upright. You come to a complete stop because you know the situation that you're in. Everybody in it is trying to win at all cost. All cost. It's not a truce here. There's no meditation here. The communication sucks. People are being petty. People are being overly competitive. This is not Five of Wands where things are just friendly competition and, you check my shoulder, I check your shoulder. No. It's not just internal conflict with the Five of Wands. This is when that internal conflict becomes a problem. These are swords. This is the way we communicate, the way we think and express ourselves, right? This is Mercury, swords, right? This is how we're showing up in our relationships, or this is how the relationships we've been dealing with other people have been showing up to us. We can't stay here. Spirit is trying to move us out of this space. But with you not taking a direction and listening to what Sun and Mars has been telling us all Libra season, get into the heart of self, yourself, to figure out what direction you want to go next, you will find yourself stuck. This Knight of Pentacles in reverse, not moving, not measuring twice and cutting once, making sure that gas is in the tank and the oil is changed and, so-and-so got everything she needs for the babysitter and my job, I got my paperwork done. No, nothing's being done. What's for sure is you're overthinking, you're in your head, there's anxiety, there's stress, there's over criticism, there's all this crap, and then there's more of it at the heart of the matter. I'm not gonna lie, this is a real shitty place to be. In the past. Seven of Wands in reverse. Seven of Wands in the upright shows that you've had the upper hand. In the reverse, you do not. You do not. This feels like people that knew that the relationships that they were in, maybe that the people that they were linked up with was doing more in these relationships. And you happen to be on that other end of the gavel, and that judgment was you're no longer needed here. Even though whatever you did to be in that situation in your life, you were greatly benefiting from it. I literally see like people grabbing and holding on to what little they have left. They don't want to let it go. Earth signs deal with the 3D life, our comforts. In the past, if you knew you didn't have the upper hand, then why would you continue the same behavior and ride it out until somebody say, you know what, I don't want you no more. I don't want to deal with you anymore. This is for people that sat there and did not course correct their own behavior. This is what life looks like for them, for those who did not want to put in the work. I bet you're scrambling now. And the sad thing about it is we had since the top of the year, not just for this moon, but since the top of the year with all these retrograde planets and having us deal with ourselves, there's no way that you did not learn anything. This, for somebody to be sitting in this type of energy is because they were willing to disregard any red flags they were getting. They wasn't listening to their intuition. No. On the high end, even though these cards look like they're talking to the people on the low end, but for those on the high end, this is the very reason why you made decisions in order to go in your own direction. Because being in a space like this, there's no way you will be able to find joy in that. Why would I continue doing what I'm doing to benefit another and they're showing up like this in relationships or at the workplace or in the family? Nobody wants to deal with that. And you know what? Just because things happen to be okay on the surface, regardless of what the underbelly looks like, people are more willing to sit in that, regardless if it's for their detriment or not. They feel their comforts and they won't move. So Spirit comes along and he throws a piece of dynamite. In this case, it's called the Aries full moon, to break up what no longer needs to be there. Above it all, the Tower. This is Uranus. This is Uranus. Unexpected shakeup. A breakdown. Tower had to come, and this is in the upright, this Tower. The only thing I like about this Tower is that the Statue of Liberty is underwater, but the torch is still above the water. You still got that spark. All is not lost, but the way that you were going about it wasn't serving you at all. You had a house of cards. You built a house on sand. It was destined to crumble. And Spirit said, you know what? If North Node is going to go into Taurus, where people are going to be focusing on their own selves, their own money, their own possessions, their own value, their own esteem, their own money. If we're going to be starting in the second house when it comes to our zodiac wheel, our own. The first house is physically your body. The second house is your stuff. How you show up for you, right? If we're going to be building up there, we can't take this stuff with us. We can't take being at the shitty end of the stick. We can't take being in relationships where it's power struggles and pettiness and people trying to win at all cost and being horrendous with their words and cutting you down. And we can't be in relationships like that. Jobs that treat you like shit. And you wonder why. Your mental state looks like trash. Why you don't want to move. I wouldn't want to move in and facilitate any of this, but you'll be surprised how many people stay in it because it is what they have. They don't take that leap of faith. But with this Tower coming up, this piece of dynamite called the full moon coming up, you best to believe it. Either you're going to stay up in this Tower or you're going to blow up too, or you can get the hell out and find something new and find a good piece of land to build a stable house on, called your life, okay? The near future. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. After the full moon. That'll be the new moon. Knight of Cups. The knights in this deck is the kings. And it's the King of Cups in reverse. I've already stated that this behavior is people that happen to see the low end of what this split in Libra is causing the collective to have. It's causing a split for us to be with our true soul tribe of people in order to help us get to our fate and destiny later down the line. The Knight of Cups in reverse. It's the King of Cups in reverse. This is Scorpio. The King of Cups in reverse is manipulating, cold, chauvinistic, manipulating, it's gross behavior. It's just it's somebody mentally unstable, emotionally unstable, or they're wanting to use they're showcasing the negative traits of Scorpio. These are people that are power hungry. They are going to be more aggressive about keeping you and holding on to you and not letting go. You think it's going to be easy for somebody to just walk away from a house and say, you know what, you're on your own now because we're not together anymore? No, these people are not going to take these, even though for those on the high end that try to do a diplomatic approach with the people that they no longer want to be linked up with no more. The people that you deemed that was unnecessary in your life at this point. You might be okay, but the people that you said that was dead weight to you, they were in your life and they were facilitating ways to stay in your life to keep the benefit of you being in theirs. And when you decide that you don't want to be there no more, let's see how these people react. Vengefulness, being vindictive, cunning, being emotionally manipulating. Like, people's teeth are going to show. King of Cups is Scorpio. He's fixed. These people ain't trying to change their position. They're not. You might think things are quiet now. But these people, and they were like, no. I hear you now. You don't want to be in my life anymore. Okay. And they'll smile in your face and turn around and they will be thinking, how can I get this mofo back? How can I hurt? This is gross behavior. This is really gross behavior. These people gonna show their ass. That's what that is. Because they're hurt. Emotionally hurt. I will say, don't forget why you chose the decisions you've made up until this point. If you have been diligently doing your self-healing and your work and doing what you need to do in order to facilitate your life path, you've been on your spiritual journey and you know why. Because Spirit told you. Your intuition, your guidance, your soul tribe, the people that need to be there. You assessed what doesn't work for you anymore. Okay. That was the easy part. Now that we've done, this full moon is going to deal out judgments. We want to see the aftermath of that. The approach. 9 of Wands in reverse. It's giving up. What's the point of keep pushing for something when there's no benefit here? I've been around this block 9 times. You see this? This man has been in a cold for a while. A while. He got snow built up on top of his head, on top of his cart, on top of his shoulders. He's been outside for a while. In the upright, he's been through 8 battles. He has enough strength to persevere even longer. In reverse, he said, fuck this cold. I don't want to be here no more. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm not doing it anymore. Forget it. Let it go. I'm done. I'm done. People are going to be doubling down on their decisions. And it's going to be real easy to do so when you see the teeth of the people you've been dealing with that never had your best interest at hand. Period. The unexpected. 2 of Wands. Crossroad. It's this Aries full moon. We're choosing a direction. We're at an impasse, and you have to choose. Not choosing anything is still a decision. You just forfeit your decision making for yourself for somebody else to make the decision for you. And you can't get mad when these people make a decision for you and it doesn't happen to fall in your favor. Everybody's going to be at a crossroad where they have to choose. Am I going to go left or am I going to go right? Hope's Fears Catch-22 card. This is hope. This is Two of Pentacles in reverse. We're no longer juggling. Should I stay with this person? Should I not stay? Should I stay at the shitty job? Should I put in more hours? Or should I just change my schedule a little bit? Should I deal with my mama or my daddy or my cousin or my best friend or whatever, right? We're making firm decisions. And in order to sail away to where we need to be, we got to drop some things. Our boats are too heavy. Some things we got to throw overboard. And it's going to be lost to the sea of whatever. Lost memories, whatever the case may be for you. I tell you what, this being a hope, dropping something, dropping these individuals, this job, your schooling, your family, it doesn't matter where these relationships lie. These interpersonal relationships, it doesn't matter where they lie. We can't keep going through life the way that we were. Spirit is getting tired. He's throwing the gavel down. Everybody's going to be making a shift. I won't be surprised soon after this, probably like the end of the week, you probably hear a lot of uproar as far as the United States is concerned too. They ain't the only ones trying to make decisions. We ain't the only ones trying to make decisions, but the United States is too. A fear is thinking that we have to tie ourselves into this and we have to continue living in this manner, like the spread. Why would anybody want to keep that up? So we don't. The hope is to drop it. Not just drop it, but this is an earth card. It's Pentacles. That we feel stable in the decisions that we've made. That we feel stable in whatever it is that we have to drop, and we don't look back at it. We can move forward. Lighter. Outcome. Happiness in reverse. The Nine of Cups in reverse. I said that this spread was for those, because it was such a heavy spread. This is a spread for those who primarily get the shitty end of the stick after this karmic balancing of Libra season. Nine of Cups in the upright is our own personal wish fulfillment. But for those who chose to not take an active stance in their own physical life in a upright manner, not like those who are on their spiritual journey, those who are still in 3D land, they waited and they decided to keep the shitty end of the stick to try to keep what benefits or living what lazy lives they were off of everybody else's back, you know. This is their reward. The Nine of Cups in reverse. They don't get their own personal wish fulfillment. You know what they're sitting in? The Eight of Cups. Looking at 8 cups that no longer work, that is shitty, they got holes in them, they rusty, and they're trying to figure out why is this not for me anymore? Eight of Cups shows like everything that could have been had in set situation has been dried up, is no longer fulfilling. In the Eight of Cups, the man is walking away because he's looking for this Nine of Cups. These people don't find it. They're still at the Eight of Cups trying to figure out why. Why? This lifestyle, them being codependent on other people, looking for them to do whatever it is that they want done for them that they didn't do for themselves. They're going to be looking real lost, looking at in a nasty emotional state. And I'm not saying that's for everybody across the board. This is a tarot read. It talks about the extremes on two ends, one and the other. One thing's for sure, the people on the shitty end of the stick are not going to be jumping in glee. This is a warning. This is a very dualistic reading. It primarily talked about people that had the negative end of the stick, but this is a cautionary tale and a warning for those who have been doing the right thing. Congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back. You won't be one of these people looking like Boo Boo the Fool after you decide to move forward with your life. Because you said, this life that I was living no longer serves me, and I don't want to sit in this mess no more. You say, you know what? I don't know what the other side has to bring, but it got to be damn sure better than this. Let me get my stuff up and go and figure it out. I'd much rather do that than be stuck with these toxic people, this toxic job, this toxic family, this toxic ... school, whatever. Bottom of the deck. Sun card. For those who happen to be on the negative end of this reading, because you didn't take the time to actively try to level up within yourself to be a better person. Not saying that everybody was horrible people. I'm not saying that. This is extremes here. For those who happen to find themselves on the shitty end of the stick, you know what things were when things were going bad. Did you curb anything that you were doing as far as your actions, the way that you speak to people, the way that you thought, the way that you feel at a heart space? Did you prioritize yourself? Did you try to figure out any of that? If you didn't, how do you expect to find yourself in a place of pure bliss? This is the happiest card in the deck. You can't do negative things or treat people in a negative way or try to be condescending or manipulating or power struggle or dictatorial or just greedy and negative attribute forever. Continue. Whatever you want to add there. Insert there, right? And expect to find happiness. You can't. And how can you get mad at the people that don't want to be tied to you and your toxic whatever? To stay around to be leached off of? No. However, those who are on the high end, because you see that this behavior, you've been working on yourself, you've been trying to figure out what's best for you, you did figure out what's best for you, and you decided to leave situations like this. Even though you don't know exactly what tomorrow has to bring, you have just enough in order to facilitate your next step to your ultimate happiness. Congratulations to you, because I know the work wasn't easy. but you'll be thankful for it later. I promise. I promise. Oracle card. Oracle card. That came out. 2 came out, as a matter of fact. We got 42, 6, which is Venus. Movement speed. I said this full moon, for me personally, has been called dynamite. And when karmic situations that have been under pressure for so long eventually get that spark, that argument, that push, that situation, that whatever, that last piece of hay on the camel's back that broke it, people are going to be making decisions expeditiously. Aries, speedy, it's impatient, it's fast. This judgment's going to come and things is going to get moving. And the people that have been on the higher end of this, they know exactly where they're moving to. We're going to be able to shift. There's a whole shift coming. Whole shift coming. 38. 11. 2. The moon. For those who were on a lower end of this read, because I got 2 groups here in this reading. For those who are on the lower end of this read, this full moon definitely will shine a light on the darker things that you did not want to look at. It's mystery, dark matter, mystery. You definitely will have some work on reevaluation. If you thought that you have bypassed anything, you have not. For those who have been on the low end of this read, you know who you are. I just told a client, there is no spiritual bypassing in this life. And if you happen to subscribe to past lives and coming back for another run at Earth School, you will be picking it right back up. But you'll definitely be doing some deep diving in yourself, looking at your own shadows, figuring out why things went wrong. And typically when you figure out where things went wrong, you will start pointing fingers at yourself and dealing with those untended to boxes that you put up in a shelf in the back of your brain, the bottom of your heart. For those who are on a higher end of this read, I will say that yes, you've made hard decisions in order to pave a way for you moving forward. You're going to be rewarded for that. And no, do you know every step of the way? You do not. But we have faith. And just like these people are going to see the repercussions of their actions, we will too. In a speedy way. Last card. Relationships tried to come out. Whew. There we go. What is it? Clarity. How beautiful. Clarity. Clarity. Let me trust in my deepest instincts in all ways, especially when matters are unclear. May my own holy intuition always guide my way. I think that said it all. I wrapped it up. People, for the 2 groups On the low end, I will say, as bogus as this may feel for you, if you diligently do the work and start digging into your own shadows of why life happened to bring you to this point and you feel like you've been dropped off, this will be a pivot point for you. Yes, it's a pivot point for the people on the high end too. But this is just one of those life lessons that's going to sting, that you're going to greatly benefit from. Sometimes we need real harsh lessons in life to keep us from doing the same bull crap over and over and over and over again. Showing up in our relationships, at our jobs, with our families, like the same broken people. Sometimes you need full-fledged exposure to see where you went left in order to know exactly where to start, in order to start fixing yourself. People on the high end, I will say, you literally been through a hell of a mess. And I'm sure that the decisions you've made up until this point have not been easy. But you have pushed through and you've made your decisions, and you're going to see the rewards of that. And I'm not saying that we do our spiritual work because we just want to get the blessings. I'm not saying that. It damn sure is a perk. Your hard work has not been unnoticed. Spirit knows. And you're on the path to get to that place called hopes, wishes, and dreams. It's gotten a lot closer to you, opposed to further away. I can say that for both ends. Thank you so much for coming to my Astrological Weekly Read. I do this every Monday, and you can follow me on all of my social media handles, Perspectives Edge, and my website for any services that you would like to book is perspectivesedge.com. And until next week, keep your head up. Do the work. You got this. Peace, love, and harmony. I'm out.